Sagittarius, it's Romy. Thanks so much for joining me and tuning into the channel for your March 2024 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or moon in the sign, then hopefully this reading will give you some insights that might enable you to navigate this month a little bit more informed. So we're opening up with the energy of justice, and it's quite remarkable, I think, you know, the amount of growth even since January, right? In 2 months. It shifted your entire outlook in ways that you perhaps didn't expect, you know, from the beginning of the year. And that does need to be acknowledged. And it also means that you have to have the bravery to act upon, you know, what you now realize to be true. Justice says that there's a fairness to approaching things with an intention to want to bring balance and to bring order, if you like, to those things which have continued to perhaps spiral out of control or drain you or deplete you. And there's something karmic about this, you know, we're definitely being tested in the month of March with regards to our stability. And yet you do look like you have a position of strength, and you know, you are almost being given that vantage point to look down upon your life in a new way and really assess. And I want to say, you know, where are you looking for permission still, Sagittarius? Because it feels like if there's a hesitancy in any way, it seems to be surfacing because there's something that you're looking towards to kind of almost get the green light with before you feel able or ready to kind of address something. But perhaps you need to give that permission to yourself, is what we want to say. Now, I think it's interesting, you know, when we're in Pisces energy and we're looking at that 4th house for you, if you can almost kind of understand that how you're running your home will tell you a lot about how things are playing out and being mirrored back to you. So let's take a look at what's up close and personal within the confines of that sacred environment, you know, the very foundations that keep you feeling safe and secure or not, you know, depending on what's going on, and really see how some of those themes might be playing out. Now, the 7 of Swords says, you know, we do have something that feels in a state of imbalance through the month of March. I want to say stop losing so much sleep over it. Is it worth it? Because perhaps there's something right now that you can't necessarily do to control it. So you may have a sense of something going on, something coming to light, being aware of what people may be saying about certain things, and all of that kind of coalescing in a way that, you know, can create unnecessary anxiety or certainly put you in a frame of mind, you know, that just drains you and makes it less able to function or find the clarity that, you know, is required for you to honestly take advantage of what is a very vibrant month and offers a huge amount for you in terms of the potential of being remotivated and inspired in new directions. And you know, I want to say to you that there's going to be, through the course of this month, more than one offer on the table for you. And what comes through is not to rush your choice around this. What you might find is just taking a little bit more time to deliberate may naturally bring about a shift with one offer offering something a little more and making it that bit more compelling. So if something arises in regards to that and you feel a little bit indecisive, or it's difficult to kind of compare or get a true read on what you really want to do in this instance, let's just wait that little bit longer, says the 7 of Pentacles, and something will come through and bear fruit that feels a little bit more aligned to the vision that you have for yourself, even if you're still a little bit unsure about that vision and you're still kind of filling in the pieces as a result of how much you have shifted your outlook. So what I'll say is that March is definitely a month where a lot is in flux. We have this quite tense square with Mars and Uranus happening on the 9th, just ahead of the new moon. It's a bit erratic and chaotic and combative. It can spur us into action, and yet you sort of show me that you're in a let's wait and see mode, which I don't think is a bad thing, because I think too much rushing in, even though we can feel the impetus of that during this season, absolutely, can also end up with you not kind of thinking clearly and then acting or emotionally responding in a way that you might later regret a little bit. So the 7 of Swords says, in some ways, keep your cards close to your chest, play it cool a little bit, let's see how things things unfold, and you're going to be given that insight and that full picture, and that's going to put you in a much stronger position. The new moon in Pisces arriving on the 10th at 20 degrees. As we said, with 4th house, there might be a need for you to kind of think about how you're showing up right now, and some of those deeper ingrained patterns that, stretch way back to childhood for you, some of those ghosts that you might hold on to from the past, and the degree to which they show up in ways that are kind of sneaky sometimes, and how we respond and how we think about ourselves, and how that translates into the closest relationships that we have. And especially right now with what is being thought about and considered, and the energy held within the home will be having a huge impact on how you feel, notably this month, about the degree of your value and worthiness to be able to go after some of the things that might be showing up for you. There's a message here that says, can you do it? And the answer is 100% yes. However, there is a note that says, just because you can, does that mean that you should? The 5 of Swords suggests that, you can take this course of action, but you might come up against a number of challenges that when you kind of sit back in hindsight, you think, was that really worth it? Was that really worth it? So there might be an intention to want to drive something forward as a result of an emotional trigger, so to speak. And what was really needed in this situation was perhaps for you to step back and nurture yourself a little bit, and give that kind of inner parenting that is revealed to us so acutely when we're moving through that sort of 4th house energy. It's also about finding that sense of stability, and temperance comes through here. So around that new moon in Pisces, as you're setting new intentions for yourself, what we're also starting to see is that, you're feeling like you're being prepared for something. You'd be correct in that. And, sometimes when we do the soul work, it can be tough. Yeah, it's messy and challenging and difficult and strips us bare. But sometimes the work also reveals things to ourselves, about ourselves, that can be really enthralling and enlightening and exciting, because all of a sudden we realize we're not held back by that belief anymore. We do have the possibility, the potential, and the opportunities to create something entirely different for ourselves. And I think there is this message that kind of springs forth in March for you, round about that new moon, activated powerfully, that says, you know what, hell yes, I can do this this hard thing. And temperance comes in with a way that also helps you to sort of find a measured way of, coming to terms with that, knowing you're being prepared for it, but at the same time, just getting everything in a place where it's ready to be able to take advantage of that. So there's a timing component, is what I'm really saying when we look at temperance, and that will also be further supported by the equinox arriving on the 19th. What that seasonal alignment shift does for you is just helps you to kind of come back into a place of, quiet acceptance and deep presence, so that you get quite clear about, okay, I know that this is on its way. I know what it's going to take. I know what that means. I know I want it. I feel good about it. However, there are all of these other things that I also need to address and acknowledge, so that they don't end up being the thing that holds me back, or I end up sabotaging because of the fact that I haven't really addressed it. Okay, so temperance is going to be your ally through the course of March, and of course does connect into your sign, so it helps you to show up in a way that feels authentic, is what I always believe. Queen of Wands, love that fire energy. What she's showing is that the growth, as we said, that's already taken place through the course of this year alone is tremendous, but also something in March can take off the ground very, very quickly. I also have a sense that you might be considering and asking yourself, is something too broken? Sometimes things can be repaired, but at the same time, what else could that space hold? And I think you are going to be asking your questions, weighing something up, that maybe that space now wants to be seeded with something different. And if you allow that to happen, then what you're potentially seeing is something moving and growing and progressing way beyond your wildest sort of imagination in terms of how quick. And that's when you really comprehend how much perhaps something has held you back or been the thing that has blocked you. Queen of Wands also has a little temper on her at times, and I do get the sense, whether that's coming from you or directed towards you, especially as we come up against that slightly you know, controversial full moon lunar eclipse in Libra, you know, because it's sort of highlighting all those disgruntled aspects within the relationships that we hold. And it's a continuation of themes that, you know, were being addressed toward, you know, October, November, December of last year as we played out that narrative, and we'll continue with it through 2025. Not to say you don't find resolution to things in March. Full moon will always bring that sense of closure, but the theme that underpins it is something that continues. And so, you know, what we're seeing around that time is that perhaps you are getting a little bit more exasperated and frustrated, and, you know, things potentially feeling a little bit heated. Temperance coming in as a reminder. All of the sort of energy that steps forward in your reading this month is much more, if you can, to kind of hold back, let things play out, and then see where everything stands once that revelation has sort of taken place. That said, you know, sometimes we just feel it necessary to kind of wade in because we choose it at the soul experience. Remember, it's never really a right or wrong. There's always just an option to kind of live and play something out, and then have an opportunity to see how we're going to grow from it. So that's okay too. But because I keep getting this message about like not losing sleep over something, I have a sense that beneath the surface or around about you are being triggered within the month of March is something that, if you allow it, could kind of overtake or overwhelm you. And I'd rather that you were focused upon this, preparing for all of the things that are coming in that feel like they want to give you a rush of new, exuberant energy. Queen of Wands is definitely allowing that kind of spark of Aries season to ignite something within that fire energy that you hold so beautifully and say, you know what, this is the time. Now, I do want to say to you that Pallas, Athena, the asteroid goddess, is going retrograde in your sign on the 29th. So what we want to bear in mind with that is a sense of sort of looking before we leap. I think that's why temperance is so key to this reading for you in March. We might want to rethink a bigger plan. Okay, and you might want to keep that again under wraps or close to your chest until you figure out you know, quite what that means, especially if you've changed your mind or your outlook has shifted immeasurably. You might also want to make sure that you're just kind of allowing for the opportunity to extricate yourself, and, you know, especially from a legal perspective, just ensure that you're not getting caught up in anything. Watch out for increased amounts of scamming going on through the month of March as I tune into that Seven of Swords as well. So just keeping everything, being alert and aware, you know, of everything that's personal in terms of your information through the course of this month. I also think for those of you with a focus and intention really around what's happening and shifting and changing in your work realm right now, the Seven of Pentacles bodes really well, again, for new opportunities surfacing, new job opportunities, interviewings come up, new conversations, ideas, propositions, you know, anything that you're doing with that sense of wanting to progress yourself because you understand you've grown and you've outgrown, I think, an awful lot, is going to serve you really well through the month of March. Okay, I see that coming in with huge positive aspects for you. We are free of retrogrades until the 20th of the month, and then we start into some of the shadow again. So take advantage of that and understand that you do absolutely have some green lights, but Sagittarius, you do need to give yourself permission in order to move forward. And if these offers come through in the way I see that they are, there's going to be one that's incredibly compelling for you. Now, the last three cards we look at in the extended version of my reading talk for another 30 minutes or so. And we'll also look at a personal card and a relationship card for you. I'm just going to clarify these first ones to see the direction we'll take that extended reading in for you. I hope you'll join me. It's a way to support the channel. So we're bringing through the Two of Cups and the energy of the Lovers. Seven of Swords is coming in with strength and judgment. Okay. Seven of Coins, Six of Cups we have, and the Hierophant. Okay, all the decks are always listed below. You will find information about all my sacred titles, my book and my deck. The Sacred Soul Support, I've got beautiful Equinox ritual this month, in addition to the guided meditations that I do. I've got a Sacred Violet Flame and working with the element of water for this month. And ways to work with me, you'll find that all over on romywiser.com. Okay, another Queen of Wands coming through there. Four of Wands. And the 9. I'm just going to put one more there. Ace of Swords. Okay. Queen of Wands. What do we have here for Sagittarius? King of Swords. 9 of Cups. Lovely. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle, my own deck. If you're new to the channel, you can see that over on my website. We have Blossoming Soul Song. We have Throat Energy. Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadows. We've got Nourish Your Inner Wealth. Golden Ribbons of Light. Casting Out Constellations. This is the way, this is the work. Beautiful flow and movement coming in for you this month. Finally, let's have a look at an energy oracle for you, Sagittarius, for March 2024. We have the 3rd chakra, Archangel Shamuel, showing up for you. We'll explore his message along with your personal and relationship cards and diving deeper into the main reading on the extended. Thanks for being here. Have a beautiful month. Enjoy Equinox, the seasonal alignment that brings. I'll see you again next time. Take good care. Bye for now.